Hello and welcome, RCSchim and Hanger. Today we'll take a look at the Cinebee75HD. It's one of those tiny whoops with Turtle V2 which can do 1080p 60. I will tell you today why I initially hated it and why I'm so late to the party. Let's dive into it. Those are the tiny B motors. They have 10,000 kV. 1103, 10,000 kV. I'm a bit concerned, to be honest, with the bearings and the quality of those motors. I read that they tend to overheat on 3S, whereas the copter is designed for 2 and 3S. Initially, the props are just stuck on the shaft and not screwed in, but there is a screw hole or two, as you see. I think those were the initial props. They are also not too large. And they are not to be screwed on, as you see. But these gem fans apparently are better and they have screw mounts. So what happened first to me, I got it in July, got it late, and then on the first flight two of those C-clips came off, and actually the whole motor bell, so the upper section of the motor, including the prop, flew away. Not sure what the reason for this was. Maybe it was really because they became so hot in July. Now it's November, now they don't get as hot. I'm concerned with the longevity of these types of motors on those smaller copters. You invest what? $150 or $200 in this thing because it has a lot of great features like a good HD cam, nice stack, good VTX. But if one component like the motor fails and you cannot, I had assume this is disaster waiting, right? I had a hard time soldering on those motors there because it's damn small. Don't judge my soldering skills, dare you? But this is just so small. I think about, is it a good idea to apply hot glue over it to keep them from maybe touching themselves? I don't know. So if you don't have the skills to solder, like I clearly don't have them, this might be a showstopper for you. So you invest quite a lot of money, and then because of one of those motors fails, you cannot fly this and it just hangs on the wall. No, most of them hanging there I should be able to fly. Point is, if you order this, at least get 2, maybe 4 spare motors. They are not too expensive and you will definitely need them. In terms of spare, maybe also get those round things here. They are part of the frame, but eventually they will break. If we're really unlucky, then we might break the lens. Let's take this out for a spin. Yeah, and to take it out, I also asked for these batteries, Sub Power from Banggood. You see it, it's a 3-cell 550. They say it's designed for 450 3-cell. But I also have these really large 650 3-cells. And those kind of square batteries are better than the long batteries, as I read, because with the long batteries, while they fit good, the CG is a bit off. I also can show you how to use this little controller board to access the connector here, to access the settings of the Caddx Turtle, because you might want to switch the live out from 16:9 to 4:3, as I use 4:3 goggles and a lot of users do. You just need to find this hidden plug here and plug in the joystick board. Of course, the Betaflight OSD is in the way a bit, but it's okay. You just joystick press it. Then we get the OSD settings, which are not useful if you have an OSD like Betaflight OSD. You don't need 2 OSDs. Video is just for different resolutions, 1080p and 720p in 60 or 30. Loop video, auto recording is nice, white dynamic on for sure. Not much else here. The camera settings, you can make it brighter or darker with exposure. Metering to multi is a good idea. Field of view to high for wide angle, screen flip if you mount it upside down, light frequency to match your power system. Image effect, oh yeah, here you go, saturation, sharpness, contrast, bright. Those are the default values, I'll leave them at this. TV system NTSC, which is 3060 frames, or PAL, which is 2550. System whatever, I can read it. Auto boot on, yes, that's all good stuff. And this is the one and only setting that I really needed to change. I changed the live out to 4:3 because I have 4:3 goggles. So if you have 4:3 goggles and running 16:9, tilting looks just off. So keep that in mind. Put it to 4:3. Save and exit, and we're good to go. And my core temperature is at 79. This thing really gets too hot if it sits there, but that's of course because of the VTX and everything is so tiny and stacked together there. On the bottom here you see the currently exposed Caddx Turtle board with the SD card. There is this plastic part that covers the bottom and protects the board. It also holds your SD card in place. Those motor protection cages are also part of the frame. One other thing that is a bit weird or off standard, if you look at the props, the front props normally turn inwards on default setup. These are set to turn outwards, here outwards, and the back motors turn inside. So some FPVs do this on purpose, because then if you hit grass, the grass doesn't fall to the lens, but yeah, here it would be caged. Anyhow, this is just to remember, check the motor directions. I had, after soldering on new motors, I had to change the direction of the front two motors. And I did this by connecting this USB here to my laptop, fire up BL Heli suite there, and you can access all 4 ESCs over the BL Heli suite over the flight controller board, which is nice and was really easy. Here on top you see the stack. There's the 4-in-1 ESC down there and the tiny flight controller, which is awesome to me, and the VTX board up there. And this all is kind of protected by this top board. This is the white version I got here. There are some carbon fiber versions as well, of course. Back there we have the receiver, the radio receiver. The two antennas are the radio receiver's antennas. And this is the dipole for the VTX antenna. And the main point of concern about this copter, it's this tiny drone, it is too loud. So the whole idea of being able to fly anywhere is to fly without too many people get angry at you. And this thing is, at least indoors, it's so loud that it is kind of intimidating. Even though it can't do much damage, but it sounds loud and dangerous, so you don't want to fly it around people indoors. Yeah, take this as advice, at least. So I'm more the guy flying this a bit larger 3-incher here onto the roof of my church, but that's another story. That being said, let's get this thing in the air. glorious slide down through this toy slide. Okay, there was some fun here, but I only had one pack. It doesn't have a terrible lot of power. Fun to fly through small gaps, and it makes it look like a pro because this thing is so damn small, and it still has an HD cam, so looks like you're flying a larger one. Rapid fire worked only in legacy mode. It gave me weird scrolling, which is not fun in midair. So far not too bad. Scope around, fly through gaps. You cannot do acro with this. I mean, maybe if you're really good at it and can compensate for the inabilities of the copter, but it's better to deal with your own inabilities than with those of your gear. You can quote me on this. Okay, trying to give you some line of sight external shots of this thing. I mean, I think I like how it looks in the air. Now on the third flight or so it had weird oscillations. Guess the next thing to try is to swap all those props, even though they don't look really damaged. Here's how it looks from the air. Okay, the battery died. This thing is not efficient, that's to be said, because I fly those batteries on the larger LDARC, but 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah, I already lost one of those tubes, so gluing those tubes in is a good advice that I read on Oscar Liang's blog post about this thing. But I think this is enough footage now for you to decide if you're in for this. What I liked was scooping close over the ground fast through seemingly impossible gaps. That's something that's really cool and very addictive. I have to admit I kind of rushed this review now. I mean rush, it's out since March. Now that I repaired the drone and got it flying, it was kind of fun and it should be out before Friday Black Friday sales on Banggood. Check out Banggood, maybe you find better things than this here, to be honest. Go check out my review about the LDARC or LDARC GDI 130. I really enjoyed that one. I still have it after this rescue mission. Go check out this video, it's cool. But the LDARC, I think it's about the same money and it gives you way more fun. As always, thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye.